Hello and welcome to another Craft Ninja video. Today we're going to be creating foil stamped flowers using toner ink and going to be doing that on vellum. To start off with, here are a few of the supplies that I will be using. I'll be using this lovely flower stamp from the Teresa Collins Planner Girl stamp collection. As you can see, it has really great planner stamps in it. And as always, a link to the products that I use in the video will be in the description box below. I have a selection of vellum, one from Recollections that I got from Michaels and another Staples brand. I'm going to be using this toner ink from Heidi Swap to be used with like the mink, and I'm going to get my space all together and then we're going to get to start stamping. First I'm going to put down a white sheet of paper so I can kind of see what I'm doing because vellum is translucent. Toner ink is a little bit of a different product. It is basically toner that you would print with a laser printer suspended in a liquid, and then you can stamp with it. I'm going to fill this stamp pad up with the toner ink that is in the bottle. Now in the bottle, the directions say to use 15 milliliters of ink, and so I'm measuring it into this medicine cup that came with it. First I'm going to do 10 milliliters and then I'll do 5, making the total 15. Be careful when you're pouring it on the stamp pad not to kind of go over the edge. You want to have everything soak into that ink pad. And that ink pad is not reusable. When you pour this ink out, you want to make sure that you're going to get all the stamping done. It does stay open, or you can stamp with it for a few hours. After that, it dries up too much, and then you're going to have to get a new ink pad. But in the kit that I've linked in the description, you actually do get, I believe, 3 stamp pads that you can use to start off with. So it's a great starter kit for this. Just let that soak in. I'm going to stamp on a scrap piece of paper just to see how the ink and the stamp interact, because I don't want to start off on my project first. I want to see how it ends up stamping before I put it on my final project. So as you can see, I'm not getting a consistent line or anything like that, and that's not what I wanted to go for, and it's not necessarily how I think this ink works. It can be a bit more splotchy, and I like the little bit more of the splotchy and irregularness of printing because it makes each flower look unique. And we're going to be doing an all over background. So make sure you're turning your stamp and kind of fitting it in so you don't have too much of an open space but not necessarily too close. Just kind of go with what looks good to you and have fun with it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see when I come out with my next video. Alright, and now since we have done one sheet, why not do 2? Let's do it all over again. make sure to clean your stamps periodically throughout your stamping process when using the toner ink. The ink, I found, tends to build up and get a little sticky, and then the stamp ends up sticking to the paper rather than coming off when you're trying to pull it up. So just take a baby wipe and wipe things down a little bit in between, every so often. And again, your stamps will stamp irregularly. So embrace that, embrace the beauty of imperfection, and have fun with this. Now that we're all done, go ahead and take out your favorite stamp cleaner and clean everything, because you want to make sure to get all that black sticky ink off of your stamp, your fingers, your stamping block, all of it. All right, and now that we have let our ink dry, it's time to foil. Now I have this lovely collection of all these colors of foil, but I'm gonna go ahead and choose the champagne colored foil. It's not a bright gold, it's a slightly muted, frostier color gold. And I've linked that in the description box below. Now, this is what works for me when I am using my laminator to foil on any toner-based images. I have a folder of parchment paper, just the paper that we'd use for baking. Then I put my foil on top of the image that I want to have foil on it. I'm gonna trim it to size because I don't want to waste it, because let's be real, we don't need to be wasting money when we could, use that little scrap for something else. And then once I've cut it to size, I'm going to put a piece of printer paper on top of the foil and close that parchment paper folder, and then put that through my laminator. Now that works for me, and it's going to depend on what works for you and what machine you're using to foil. Some people use the laminator, some people use the Minc, some people use just a plain laminator. If you are using a laminator, I would definitely make sure to leave the laminator on at least 5 minutes or more before you start foiling. All right, look at that. Look at those shiny flowers. That is so cool. I love peeling up foil and just revealing what's underneath. All right, we're not done. We have part 2. This time, we're going to be colorizing our lovely stamped images. I'm going to be using alcohol ink on the back side of my vellum. So we foiled on the front, and we're going to alcohol ink on the back. First, I'm going to try a technique of just, ink smushing. I'm going to put some alcohol ink down on my silicone craft mat. So just using whatever paintbrush you have on hand, take your alcohol ink and just start painting behind your flowers. Now, there is no particular way to do this, so this is your permission to play. Have fun with this and just do what the muse is telling you to do, as Carolyn Dubie says. There are no rules, there is just fun. Now that we finished our page, we're going to turn something that we had fun into something that's functional. Now I'm going to create a dashboard for my classic Happy Planner, the Teresa Collins and Happy Planner collab that was just released earlier this year. final size and then stick it in a matte laminating pouch. Now I've shown these matte laminating pouches in another video, and I really love the look of the matte laminating pouch. So now I'm going to trim that down to size. I'm going to corner around this too. The last thing we need to do before it's actually truly functional is to punch holes in it. Now I love my Levenger punch. It cuts through whatever you want to punch, like butter. All right, let's put our dashboard in our planner. Look at that, y'all. Isn't it gorgeous? I love the translucent nature of the vellum and the matte laminating pouch, along with the gold flowers and the pops of color behind that just kind of has this watercolor effect. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on all things social. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!